He got 5 wins, 5 by knockout. But I've seen these
Against
fights.
high school janitors, though. Of course, you're gonna knock them out. Oh yeah. First off, like this video and subscribe.
Okay, we're back with another prediction video. We're gonna mostly focus on the main card, but there are some fights on the prelims that are definitely worth watching. Anybody standing out for you? I know we discussed Clayton, Rodriguez, and
yeah, because you remember when he fought against CJ Vergara's, and that was a robbery, and a lot of people thought he won that fight. So I think he's gonna run through Shannon Ross, and then
Jamie Malarkey fighting.
Yeah, the guy he's fighting gets tough. I think I'm 50-50 with that one, if I'm gonna just be honest. Elisa Reed, you know I like Elisa Reed, man.
Yeah,
she got some power on her. And I know Don Shainis got submitted early in his first fight in the UFC, but I still got high hopes for him because he's just a big, strong wrestler. He could win in easy fashion, take people down, ground and pound them, take people down, take their back. So I'm really big on him. The only thing is, he's not a natural featherweight. Even when he fought against Sodiq, it was at featherweight, and he's a big, strong lightweight. So, I mean, if he can make the weight class and still have his strength, I got high hopes for him, for Don Shainis.
Okay. Well, hey, I'll pay attention to him for sure. The somebody else on the prelims that I was looking forward to seeing was Tyson, Pedro, and Modestas. I think that's going to be a nice little fight, man.
I know Modestas, he's kind of a veteran, Kinda.
He's been in the UFC since 2016.
But Tyson is known for fighting these guys on losing streaks.
You're talking about Tyson, right?
Yeah, Tyson.
Okay, yeah.
Tyson, Pedro. It's just, this is going to be a good fight, though, but I would like to see Tyson fight the upper echelon fighters. That's what he gets criticized for,
But, oh, you know what's interesting, man? Modestas actually was out of the UFC because he lost 3 in a row. And then he went in, won 2 fights at Cage Warriors.
Did he win a fight in the UFC?
Yeah, he beat Andreas Markielitis. Is that the dude that got knocked out with a flying knee by Pereira?
Ooh.
Yeah. That's that guy.
The middleweight?
Yeah. But, that's his only win in the UFC. I just really realized that. Because I noticed when I was looking up a lot of his fights, he was on the losing end of them. But I thought that there was some wins in there somewhere. But it was only one.
A welterweight.
Man, this is going to be tough, man. Because he was stopped by punches by Jimmy Crute. And he was stopped by... Well, you know that side leg kick that Khalil Roundtree did?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Which, that's not something we see often, so it's hard to hold that one against him. That fight was kind of competitive up until that point, though. Like, he had moments. Obviously, Khalil had the power, but he had moments. But I know that they do have a common opponent in Khalil Roundtree, and Khalil hit Tyson with a big bomb, and Tyson was able to survive it and come back and get a rear naked choke, man. So
finish.
So this will be interesting, man. Tyson, his career, man, it's been ups and downs in the UFC. He actually, up until last year, he hadn't fought in 3 years.
When he fought Shogun, I think he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And that's why he fell the way he did when he got knocked out. And then he came back, and his last fight was against Hunsucker.
Yeah.
Hunsucker, nobody knows who he is. He's on the end of some of the most devastating knockouts in UFC history.
I know. It's weird, man. When you look at everybody else's record, you see, look, Justin Tafa, head kick knockout, Tatu Avasa. It's weird, man. It's bad. TKO lost to Jared Vandera. Oh, man. But Tyson, I think he's been more successful in the UFC, even with the ups and downs. It seems like a healthy Tyson should be able to win. I'm looking forward to seeing that one, man.
It makes you think about how thin the light heavyweight division really is.
Yeah. I think a lot of eyes are on this fight as well, because doing the research for this fight, a lot of people are excited to see Tyson get back in there. So
I would like to see this fight replace the Justin Tafa and Parker Porter fight on the main card.
100%. But see, that's the thing. Because Tyson Pedro is the main fight on the prelims, people are more likely to watch the prelims. But we already going to watch the main card because it's got some good fights on there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they kind of just threw Justin Tafa and Parker Porter in there. I'm going to be real with you. If you take that fight out of there and you just add...
Even Jamie Malarkey, man, any fight, really.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know about any for this one. But for some reason, man, this one, and we'll talk about it when we get to that fight. But I don't know. I feel like they could have did something else with that. But hey, the main card looks straight though. So what you want to dive into Islam and Alexander Volkanovski first, or hey, you'll pull up UFC fight stats?
Yeah. Hey, let's start with Jimmy Crute.
Oh yeah, we can start with Jimmy Crute. So we got Jimmy Crute and Alonzo Menifield, light heavyweights. I like both of these guys, man. I like what Alonzo is doing now. Outside of the William Knight fight, which
Alonzo fought William Knight?
Yeah, remember they had that back and forth fight with the grappling?
Oh, that's when Alonzo got robbed.
Man, I really feel like he won that one. He could really be on a 5-fight winning streak right now. Because that was a sick fight, and they gave it to William Knight.
Alonzo, against like the upper echelon fighters, I don't think he has a chance against him. Because I was looking at a lot of his fights. Left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook.
Loading
he
up
move
on
his
punches.
head. He move his head here and there. He throw a jab here and there. I mean, obviously, I think he's striking better than Jimmy Crute. But at the same time, it's just, I'm not too impressed with his striking. That's why when he fought against old Vince, that's why he got knocked out the way he did. Because it was just two different levels on striking. Even though he did hurt old Vince prior to that.
Old Vince prayed in between rounds, man, and God gave him a gift. I don't know.
He really got hurt. See, old Vince got hurt right before he knocked him out.
That's what I'm saying.
But then he went in, and Alonzo really ran into the punch.
Yeah.
But Alonzo, he got to work on just move his head before he throw his punches and stuff, man. And just the left right hook thing, he got to kind of do more than that. It just
it seems like he just starting to get comfortable throwing punches, man, because he's a big, strong guy.
Or just clean punches, because I'm not gonna lie, the left right hook thing is better than when he first started doing MMA. He was throwing the right overhand and stuff. So I think he's cleaner than what he was when he first came to the UFC.
Oh, he's way better, and we can see the improvements in the striking and everything. It's just now he's starting to get guys to the ground and just ground and pound them and get them out of there real fast. Man, the last two fights, well, they didn't even go to the full first round, so he doing good, man. And we go look at Jimmy. I think Jimmy's striking at this point is better than Alonzo's.
No, man.
Like his actual fundamentals is a little bit better.
Just think about it. If you take away Jimmy Crute's leg kicks, it's like, what else do he have? He has like a
But you can't take
overhand,
away
right? No, I'm saying that's very good, but we talking about like diversity, and we talking about like
striking.
and varied strikes from different angles and stuff. I would love to see Jimmy Crute get his fights to the ground more. And people say his striking is improving. It is a little bit, but when he's on the ground, he's nasty, man.
But you know what's so sick, man? You talk about a mixed bag of results, man. And as you saying that, I'm looking at his record here, and he has a submission win over Paul Craig, and then he has a submission win over Michael Oleksiejczuk. That's so random. Like,
funny thing, I think he needs to fight Alonzo the way he did Michael. He just went for a takedown real fast when the fight first started and was super aggressive. But
does Jimmy want to play the grappling game with Alonzo? It seemed to me like Jimmy might need to keep the fight standing up.
I'm gonna just be real. I don't think Jimmy has any shot in this. I don't think he has any chance in this fight, man.
He got a chance because sometimes we get that Alonzo that we can see the improvements and see that he's been working on putting the game together and the striking. He get more comfortable with it. I'm not expecting him to look like a world-class kickboxer, but I can see the improvements. But at the same time, I think that Jimmy right now is more dangerous on the feet. Just with the fundamentals, man. Maybe I have the old Vince fight still playing in the back of my head against Alonzo.
I think you might be right about something because I noticed when Jimmy Crute fought against Anthony Smith, he was able to land a bunch of leg kicks. Because I noticed Alonzo don't throw no kicks. I think Jimmy might actually win this fight if he can throw more leg kicks and make it a kicking fight.
I think Jimmy needs to use his advantage on the feet so far. What I think is his advantage. Because like I said, Alonzo is getting better. And from fight to fight, I'm like, oh, wow, he actually made some improvements. So I don't know how far along he is now in his game. But from their previous fights, I think Jimmy does have the advantage standing up. So I would like for him to keep the fight standing up. Because if the fight goes to the ground, more than likely, the only way I see this fight going to the ground is if somebody get dropped or unless Alonzo takes the fight to the ground. But Alonzo, he got to be careful with going for sloppy takedowns.
I understand what you're saying, but I went and looked at the Jimmy Crute and Paul Craig fight. I know Paul Craig ain't the best wrestler, but when they were on the ground, Jimmy ended up on top. I'm not a fan of Alonzo going to the ground with Jimmy. Jimmy gonna end up on top, man. And
Paul is a weird person, man, because the thing is, when Alonzo's fights hit the ground, more than likely he's on top. He's just too big and strong, man.
See, that's a common opponent to have too in Paul Craig. You remember he was able to ground and pound Paul Craig from the top. So it's like he went there and just ground and pounded Paul Craig and made it look easy.
Because the difference is Jimmy would have to get the fight to the ground and go for submissions. And Alonzo has never been submitted. And he only has one KO loss. But the difference is if Alonzo gets Jimmy to the ground, he could just ground and pound him and knock him out potentially. And Jimmy, look, man, Jimmy been finished, man.
See, that's what I was going to say. Is it me or is Jimmy, when it comes to striking, he's bad in space? Cause I noticed, man, like when he tried to play that game on the outside, he try to throw punches. I think because he overextends on his punches
a little bit.
That's why you say that his striking is better. I think Alonzo's striking is basic, but I think it's better than Jimmy Crute because it's almost like Jimmy don't have the fundamentals.
You know what's so odd, man? Jimmy kind of remind me
Ron Bader
like a bigger version of Ross Pearson on the feet. Am I tripping?
No, you ain't tripping, man. I thought you were saying plotting and
it's just like something about the movement is like very similar,
robotic.
But Ross was a dog on the feet. Now I'm not saying the whole game is similar, but I'm saying it's something about it is
so
like
you saying Ross Pearson, and ever since the first time I saw Jimmy Crute fight, I've been saying his striking is like Ron Bader because I'm seeing the left hook, the overhand right, but I'm seeing it a little bit stiff.
Yeah,
the stiffness and the power. See, the power is there, but the stiffness is there too, man.
100%.
So I mean,
even when you go back and look at his amateur fights, man, the reason why they couldn't really do nothing about it because he was just hitting them too hard, and they didn't really have the skills to do anything about it.
And then Jimmy has this thing. He has bad tendencies too, man. He has this thing to where he shoots for takedowns at the wrong time. You remember when he got hurt? He got dropped by the leg kick by Anthony Smith, and he shot for a takedown. And there were certain moments against Paul Craig when Paul Craig was putting hands on him, and he shot for a takedown at the wrong time. It was like, bro, what are you doing? He need to time his takedowns better. It's like he'll be falling down and he'll shoot for a takedown.
When it's too late or something, man.
Yeah, but honestly, I can't get the Jamal Hill knockout out of my head.
But to be fair, Jamal went on to be champion, so that ain't the worst thing in the world, man. Like, Jamal starts them bad, man. And the crazy part is he actually recovered, but then Jamal...
He dropped him again.
He, the ground and pound, put him down.
The thing is, what's sad is because Glover just went 5 rounds with him. That's probably what it is. And Jimmy got crucified in like a minute. So I think that's just what it is.
I'm going to lean more to Alonzo, but sometimes, man, it ain't like Alonzo is without flaws. Because there's a lot of them, but like I said, you can see the game getting better. I do like the improvement, man. I think he should be able to get this one, man, and squeak it on out.
And man, I think Jimmy Crute might be more consistent than Alonzo is. You never know which version of Alonzo you get. And look who he fought against. He lost to Jamal Hill, Anthony Smith. Those are elite fighters.
He lost to Ovens. He was winning that fight, and then a more experienced striker just caught him clean. Because you know what happened? Alonzo's striking started coming along, and you know how sometimes when people go from being just a strong grappler to their hands come along, sometimes you pick the wrong person to try to show off your striking powers. Instead of just trying to stand up with him. His striking did look good. He did hurt Ovens.
Yeah.
But you need to use your striking to get the fight to the ground.
Yeah.
And then go from there. But then it looked like the experience set in. And then he went on a win streak. I still think he won that William Knight fight, man. I think he got that, to be honest.
And then against Askar, Askar had all them first round knockouts.
Yeah.
So then he took him down smart.
And Misha, man, just get him out of there, man. I think he actually
did. That win don't really mean too much, man.
And that's the only thing I was going to say is that Misha won because they kind of started using Misha to kind of boost other people up. And then now I don't even think Misha in the UFC no more at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to lean more towards Alonzo, man. I can see a path to victory for both fighters. Okay, and then we get the heavyweights.
If you want to take a bathroom break or anything, this is the time to do it. You know what's funny?
I don't even know what to say, man.
These guys are opposites because Justin has the power and the athletic ability, but he don't have the IQ. And you don't have the technique. And then you have Parker. He has the technique. He just don't have the knockout power. Because I've seen Parker Porter land punches on people, man, and it's like they eat it. It's like his punches have no effect on these guys.
I was thinking that, man. And
you got big, strong legs and thighs, man. You would think that he'd have more power in his hands.
Bro, who was that dude? Is it Tim Johnson? What was his name?
Big Tim.
Bro, it's almost like that, man. You would think that somebody this size, if they hit you, that you would go down, but I've seen so many fights, man, where it's like these fights went to decisions, man, and he hit people clean, and they just kept, bro. Chase kept walking forward. Chase,
and what gives it away is he has to load up on it too. You've noticed that?
Yes.
He has to the overhand right. He has to load up on it,
but the hands ain't terrible though.
No,
like he have moments like the hands be looking cool, like it ain't great or nothing, but
I don't think he has the juice to compete against the upper guys.
That's what I was thinking, because when I'm looking at, look who he went to a decision with: Josh Parisian, Chase Sherman, and Alan Badeau. There is no reason that two of those fights should not have ended by a knockout, at least.
Oh no, them 3 guys durable, man.
Are they? I don't know, man. All I know is when Parker is on TV, I go popcorn.
Peter Parker got better striking than Parker Porter. Spider-Man.
What is Spider Pig?
Oh man, dude.
Peter Porker is that his name? But nah,
the reason why I'm not a fan of this fight is because we've seen Justin Tafa outclassed bad, man.
And that's another thing. We've seen Justin have all this knockout power. And I'm gonna be honest, it's so weird because he got 5 wins, 5 by knockout. But I've seen these
against
fights.
High school janitors, though. Of course, you're gonna knock them out.
But dude, against the Carlos Felipe fight, I don't know how that went to a decision.
What it is,
they was both hitting each other clean, and for some reason nobody went down, and I just did not understand it. And then the Jared Vanderaa fight,
low fight IQ.
I just didn't understand because after that, Jared went on a mean losing streak.
Justin has that Robbie Lawler complex, man, to where he overthinks. Because if you notice, like the people who beat him, body kicks, leg kicks, and it's like I don't know why he doesn't check leg kicks. He doesn't parry body kicks. It's almost like he just trying to throw hands with people. It's like, bro, nobody trying to throw hands.
I saw an interview where he said, even if I have the submission locked in, I'm letting it go because I want the knockout. Dude, this is craziness. Man, look, you better go get that submission, man. I'm going to say, man, I think that if it goes to a decision, I think Parker Porter can come up with a better game plan over 3 rounds.
Oh, absolutely.
And Justin, with the way that he fights, just kind of going forward. Look, and I hate to say this, I'm not comparing Parker Porter to Cyril Gane or Sergey Pavlovich, but I'm thinking about how Tatu Avasa fought them, like that style of fighting that they have, where it's just kind of like, they also like counter punchers almost. Yeah. Like they kind of wait for you to come in and then they just explode. I think Parker can move around there for 15 minutes.
I'm glad you said that. I say he has a Robbie Lawler complex, meaning, dude, you can get him to overthink because you have to be worried about his counter punches with Justin.
Because it's a lot of knockout power.
But I noticed, like, even with Jared, that's all he did. He'll walk him down, but then he'll avoid the counter left.
Yeah.
And then he'll just do body kicks and stuff. Because you still have to be worried about his power. I think Parker Porter, he has the fight IQ and the wits enough to survive and put together a game plan.
Hey, but I will say, Parker Porter got 3 losses by knockout. I think Parker
but it's been the only, as of late, the last one was Chris Dawkins.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was just kind of, that's the thing, we fought against Chris Dawkins, man. It's just different levels to it, man.
I think that whatever level Parker is on, which is far from the top, I think it's still a tier above Justin. And I know Justin got the knockout power, but it's just like, man, I've seen Justin fight the 2 fights before Harry Hunsucker. He didn't make no adjustments, man. I was like, oh my goodness. Like every round was like similar basically. And it was no adjustments. And I think that even when he did try to wrestle, it was just like, I don't know, man. I wasn't really too keen on some of that. So, but I do like Justin as a fighter, man.
He has the durability and the heart to survive 3 rounds. You're not going to be able to land. But then again, they're not going to knock you out either. So it's like, man.
And then the way he did one Adams is still in the back of my head. He did good against Harry Hunsucker. But, man, everybody does good against Harry Hunsucker, as we just saw. So it's like, man, I'm going to lean to Justin. I don't know if I want to.
Sometimes Parker get into these fights too, man. Unnecessarily sometimes.
But he got a heck of a. It's like, it's so weird because he got 3 knockout losses. But
I'm going to be real with you. I want to see Parker Porter at middleweight. The way his body type is.
37. You ain't going to never see that. You'll never see that.
But yeah.
They fight in Australia. I'm going to go to Justin, man. And that's very low confidence.
I can never bet on Justin if I'm going to just be real. I think Parker Porter is the top of the mid-tier fighters. I think Justin at the bottom of the mid-tier fighters.
I think he's at the top of the low-tier fighters. But just because of the amount of fights, I need him to have more fights and more experience and be able to make those adjustments to his game, man. That's what I need. You know what? I'm not picking either one of those guys. Yeah. Sometimes you just can't make a decision. Now, oh my goodness. This fight right here is a treat. I think whatever lack of enthusiasm we had for the last fight, and we searched for it, it just ain't there. I think that we're going to find it in abundance in this fight. What you think about this fight?
And I disagree with that because I think this fight is going to be a 3-round technical fight. Because I want to go a ranking.
Well, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be sloppy. I think that even as a technical fight, this is going to be a good
like
fight. Like
Brandon Brown versus Chaos, kind of like that.
Better. It's going to be better, man.
And you know, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about this fight, I just can't let the Vicente fight go, man. And the thing is, Vicente and Jack, man, they kind of resemble each other a little bit. Because I didn't realize how good Vicente boxing was because his last couple of fights, his boxing didn't stand out like that. And then I went to watch the Vicente and Brandon Brown fight. I was like, dang, his boxing don't look bad. And then I'm looking at Jack's boxing, and Jack probably got some of the best boxing in the welterweight division. And the thing is, it's only one thing, though. When Vicente fought against Randy, you know why he beat him? Leg kicks. Because you got some Randy tall, he's 6'3", he got long legs. He was able to slow down his movement because of leg kicks. I can't see Jack doing that. I can't see him putting together a game plan with the boxing and leg kicks, man, to frustrate Randy.
It ain't that many more fighters I like on the roster than these 2 dudes, man. Ever since we saw Jack Della Maddalena on the Contender, man, we've been locked in on this guy, man. Like this.
And you know, we talking about like a lot of MMA fighters, no disrespect, but a lot of them don't have boxing like that. He has boxing. Jack.
There's actually a jab.
This dude he switched stances. He has this thing he does when he pulls back and he throws the left straight. I don't know if you noticed, or he'll duck and throw the left hand, Or he just go to the body.
He go to the body, man. And then the way he mixes up everything.
I can see him going
like
to the body
perfect,
on Randy Brown, man.
I can see him doing it, but this is what I was thinking as well. One thing about it is Randy going to control that distance. And Jack, he has grappling. He has everything.
I think that's where he is the least capable.
I'm not saying that that's the best part of his game. I'm saying he has it. I don't want to get those two things misconstrued. Now, I ain't saying he Charles Oliveira. I'm saying the ground game is there when he's needed to use it. But we know what he's looking for. He's looking for that knockout, that stoppage. Man, I think Randy is going to keep the distance. Because if you can grapple and if you can defend the grappling of Francisco Trinaldo, you should be able to more than handle the grappling of Jack.
See, I disagree
Della
with that.
Maddalena.
I think Randy needs to get this fight to the ground. Because if you look at when Jack, even when he fought against Angelusa.
I ain't saying take the fight to the ground. I'm saying
even when Jack fought against Angelusa, he was in the arm triangle.
Yeah.
And he was in Darce choke against what's the guy name?
Was it
Ramazan? We had him in
Ramazan.
Darce choke, right? He was in I'm not saying he was close to tapping, but he was in bad positions. I think, but then Randy can't just take him down. Randy gotta hurt him first.
I was about to say. Randy is not going to just be able to wrestle him like that, because to wrestle, you got to get in close. And now you're giving Jack the advantage to strike in close quarters, which Randy needs to be controlling the distance, if anything. Now, if Randy can control the distance and snipe, but he going to have to mix it up, man. He going to really have to use leg kicks. He going to have to go to the body as well, mix it up with the head kicks and just the straight rights and straight lefts. But if he can hurt Jack and get him to the ground, we have seen Jack some trouble on the ground. But at the same time, man, Randy's doing well, but every now and then Randy will have a slip-up fight where he lose in a really kind of off-kilter way that you could have never predicted, man. I think he got a loss to Nico Price where he was actually...
And what's the other guy name who beat CM Punk?
Michael
Gall. That fight was closer than what people thought. You should have finished Mickey Gall.
Yeah, that was in 2017, man. I don't even think he had...
All right, you're right.
But I'm saying there's like a loss or two on Randy's record that make you like scratch your head. But I think that came from a lot of inexperience than anything. Just like when he started like refining his game and fighting on a higher level, he kind of stepped up, which was a good thing. But this is a big step up for Jack, man.
Randy, he has to stay on the outside, and you know what he need to throw? The front kick.
Yes.
Throw the front kick, throw the side kicks. Honestly, man, don't make it a boxing match. Because sometimes Randy, his pride get the best of him sometimes, bro. It's like, bro, he's not really a striker like that, man. I think he's just a complete MMA fighter who can find a way to win. But like sometimes because of his pride, it'll let him go out there and try to make it a striking match. It's like, bro, don't do that with Jack, man. Because
Jack finds ways to beat you down there. And I think Jack has more power than what people think. Just because he's not knocking people out in one punch.
I'm glad you said that. I saw some of his highlights on YouTube. He was knocking people out with one punch, man. Like a lot of his earlier fights, I guess his cardio and stuff got better, so then it kind of stopped happening. But like he got the, especially in his left hand, he got the one-hitter quitters, man.
And sometimes it's like even in Randy fight, it's like sometimes he may be overthinking, and sometimes he do get hit with punches that he probably shouldn't be getting hit with.
Yeah.
But luckily he got a good chin, so it's like, I see Randy got 4 losses, 2 by KO, 1 by submission, 1 by decision, and he can kind of mix it up as far as the wins.
That's Randy?
Yeah.
All the wins he won in a row?
Yeah. I told you.
Oh,
Randy.
no, that was the other guy. That was
Jack. No. Yeah, but these dudes ain't in the UFC.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So the weight is.
I'm gonna tell you one thing though. If Jack must understand that this fight has to be very dominant, or he has to get a finish. Because if this fight close, it benefits Randy Brown.
No,
the UFC
because they in Australia. So if it's close, then Jack definitely gonna get it. He definitely gonna. But I like the fact that man, Jack is only 26 and Randy 32. I think Randy hitting his prime, man. I think this is a good fight, man. Jack fights like he got way more fights on his record, man.
I think
I really don't. There's nothing about Jack that I don't like, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I want Randy Brown to win, but if I had to bet the house, I'd probably bet on Jack. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I can see why, man. Just because he's got that factor, it's almost like something about him is different from other fighters on his level, and he might be able to take a big leap up in competition like this because he made Danny Roberts look bad. I mean, it's almost
Danny
like the fight didn't even happen.
Danny stood up, recovered, and everything. He just got finished. It was just too much.
The thing is, though, if you look at the way Jack win, he got 13 wins. He need those wins to come by knockout. He ain't really trying to just be on the ground like that, man.
The only person he didn't finish, the only person Jack didn't finish was
Angelusa, and
of all people, man.
I think he came close. Didn't he have Anja in a submission at one point?
I don't think he had him in submission. He hurt him, but
Anja had him in a arm
Anja had him in the arm
triangle. If
triangle.
Angelusa put you in the arm triangle, then Randy Brown,
Randy
Brown should be able to do a little bit more than that on the ground. And I think that right now Jack can handle a loss because he on a win streak. So I'm gonna lean more towards Randy because I think he's hitting his prime, and I want to see him get into that top 10. Speaking of big fights that we can talk about all day, I'm gonna just start off by saying I don't know who I'm gonna pick. I honestly cannot pick nobody in this fight, man. What you think about Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett? Somebody else that we've been watching for a long time.
Man, Josh, one of my favorite fighters. I can't help but stop thinking about what if Yair just piece him up, because Josh Emmett sometimes he could be a little bit plotting and a little bit predictable, man. And I can see Yair just dancing around him. I try not to think about that, man, because Josh has proved himself time and time again. But at the same time, I also can see Yair winning but losing in like the third round, kind of like how Michael Jackson, kind of like how Michael Johnson was doing. Yeah. Michael Johnson moonwalk out the rankings. Kind of like how Michael Johnson was winning until he lost. Because Yair makes mistakes, man. Like he throws kicks, bro. He be off balance, bro. He end up on his back.
If he throw one of those kicks
and he missed,
and Josh Emmett hit him with anything.
Another thing is when Yair fought against Max, Yair will be piecing Max up. But then again, Max will come back and start piecing him up with the hands. It's like, bro, you supposed to?
But the fighting style for Josh and Max is totally opposite.
He's long and volume.
Yeah, you talking about long arms and volume striking versus good technical. Well, and he got the good technical side too. But versus Josh Emmett has a technical, and it's more along the lines of a lot of his punches are to set up bigger punches. And this is gonna be a crazy fight, man, because it is 5 rounds too. Now this 25 minutes. This is interim. This for an interim belt, man.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know who that benefits more though? That benefits Josh, man. He has 5-round experience.
Yair does too.
He does.
He ate 500 punches in it, but he got it though.
Oh yeah, he did go 5 rounds with Max.
And he went 5 rounds with Max, but his foot was broken. It was bad because remember he was throwing all those kicks. Man, one thing about Yair, and we talked about this during the Brian Ortega prediction, man. Yair has this thing, man, where he's looking for this highlight reel knockout thing that he kind of did on what's the boy name? Andre Philly. And it's like,
are you talking about he be spamming that front kick?
It's like he'll have people hurt, or he'll have a good opportunity to kind of put it on them. He'll just throw some type of weird kick, and sometimes he might miss it. He might end up on his back. There were times where he finally had momentum against Max, and then he'd do some weird kick and end up on. Remember the times he ended up on his back, and then I'm like, how in the worst thing that happened?
The worst thing Yair Rodriguez is worse is when his back is against the cage and he's spamming that up elbow. That's when Yair is at his worst.
You just said something that made me think this fight gonna
he's
end in
at
knockout.
his best too, man. But I'm saying even it's like, bro,
I think that's when he's at his best. Something about that is very nasty, especially when he did Korean Zombie.
He did put himself in more favorable position to win the fight.
I don't think he get more favorable than that, man. The way he did Korean Zombie,
but look,
nobody want to be
Korean
close.
Don't ever put his hand. Korean ain't had his hands up since 2015. But I'm saying
I don't think he woke up since 2015.
I think Josh is not going to just go in on him like that, man. Well, he might have to though, huh, to win.
Dude, Yair beat Dan Hooker. This is crazy. I didn't know he had that.
I think because Yair, it's almost like he's not really a knocker artist, man. Because if you look at the way he fight, man, he's more of entertain the crowd type.
Yeah.
But he ain't like some of these other guys. Like he ain't Bobby Green. He ain't on that level. But he's more so win a decision type, man. Don't look at the BJ Penn fight. Don't be fooled by that one, man. And the Andre Philly fight. But I don't think he's just a knocker artist. This is a real question. I think Josh Emmett gonna knock him down at least once. Can he recover? Can he get back up? How much heart do Yair got?
It seemed like Calvin Kadar was never really in trouble with Josh Power. Am I tripping?
But it's Calvin Chin. Max Holloway landed 1,000 punches on Calvin Kadar.
But low key, I think in the next fight he did it on Yair. If I'm not tripping, like they both kind of got that same beat down from Max for whatever reason. I guess he couldn't do it to Volkanovski, so they called it.
Another thing is Calvin keep his hands up nice.
Yeah, it was back-to-back beat down.
No, what I'm saying, we talking about Calvin Kadar, his chin, and durability. I'm saying Calvin kept his hands up high against Josh Emmett. Yair fights his hands down. You know what I mean? So,
and it's weird, man, because Josh Emmett, if we look at their last 5-round fight, Josh, he started off good, but even when he got tired, he was still game the whole time. You can see he was clearly visibly tired and exhausted, but he still was able to take one of those rounds, one of those championship rounds. Even when he gets to the point where he's tired, he's still dangerous. And we know Yair is dangerous as well. Okay, so standing up, man, who you giving the advantage to? Let's just try to break it down like that. Overall advantage.
Yair.
Okay, on the ground, do you think this fight hits the ground?
I think somebody hits the ground.
Somebody definitely gonna hit the ground. But one thing that's interesting is Josh Emmett got 18 wins, but 10 of them by decision. Nah, but Yair got half.
He got more decisions than Josh.
Well, he got 6. percentage-wise, they about similar, man. So
if Josh can do it the same
Yair
playing
got
against Cav and Cato, I think he can beat Yair.
Because Yair cannot go in there hunting for a knockout. That's the thing, man. If he go in there and just fight, like you said, if he go in there and just piece Josh up and never really put himself in danger, which that will be the way to win, but that's just boring. Not even boring. But that's just not the way that Yair fights, man.
Another thing is, like I was saying, I know Max is not Josh Emmett, but even when he would hurt Max, he would go in and get hurt himself. And the thing is,
wait, who?
When Yair fought against Max Holloway, he hurt Max, but then he went in and he got pieced up too. And it's like,
I thought that was odd.
So it's like he got to be careful when he go in on Josh. Even if you hurt Josh, man, like Josh can still kind of catch him. Josh, he's been more deceptive with the right hand. He throwing it less, but the timing getting better. Not the timing, but like
the opportunity, the moments he chooses to throw.
He's throwing it less and less, so Yair might think he ain't gonna throw it, and then he might.
Man, now that you say that, man, I'm looking at something very interesting, man. I'm noticing Yair has 3 losses, 2 of them by knockout.
One was against Frankie. That was remember he kept on posturing up.
That was the last good Frankie Edgar we saw. And
who was the other one?
It don't even matter. It was in 2012. So for some reason, I didn't know they was that far back. But
and the fun thing is, this is an opportunity. Neither one of these guys can lose. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for both of them, because Josh might not get this again, because Josh is 37?
37 years old.
So it's like, bro, if Josh loses this fight, it might be over, man.
No, because he's still right there at the top. I don't think that many people beating Josh. I mean, even if he loses this fight, bro, he'll fight the loser of Max and Arnold Allen. But as far as final prediction, man, how you see this fight playing out, man? Or what are some of the possible outcomes in your mind? Even if you don't make a prediction, because it's too close.
In my opinion, I just think Yair can just run around for 5 rounds, or
Yair low-key be getting tired too, don't he?
Oh yeah.
As the fight
he only can fight at a certain pace
because he's doing too much jumping and
when he's in charge, he's good. But whenever like opponents put pressure on him, bro, he start moving around.
And then his own fighting style takes up so much energy. And then if you got Josh kind of sitting back, he's definitely gonna lose in the beginning.
I think what Josh gonna do is he's gonna be patient. My prediction is Josh winning a decision. I think he's gonna be patient like he did against Calvin. And if there's any openings, he's gonna throw the right hand, try to catch him. If not, he's gonna just do enough to score points.
Because Josh is very smart, man. People think he's just a knockout guy, but like I said,
2 losses. Who he lost?
He lost a split decision to Desmond Green, and he got obviously we saw the Jeremy Stevens one, but that was a special Jeremy Stevens that
and he hurt Jeremy too. You remember?
Yeah, he almost got and low key Jeremy might have hit him in the back of the head too. But anyway, we gonna speed past that part. Yeah. But anyway, the point is, I can see people thinking that Josh is just solely like a knockout artist, but he's actually got good boxing fundamentals. Josh, he can low-key win a decision here and just kind of pace himself and have a consistent output, because the thing is, Yair, if he comes out and fights the way that we know he will, Josh is going to have to be very careful with that, which means that Josh will pretty much kind of be sitting back and waiting for the right opportunity to strike and try to counter. Meanwhile, Yair will be doing what he does, spamming kicks, running around. But then at some point, that energy, that's going to catch up to Yair, and then he's going to have to take a break. He's going to have to take a round or 2 off. And at that point, man, if Josh didn't let Yair get too far ahead on the scorecards, and he could take advantage of him getting tired, man, I like both of these guys, man. I low-key want to pick Yair, but I think Josh might have the experience, man. He's been more active and stuff, man. But it seemed like Yair been in like bigger fights for some reason. I don't know. I'm not making a prediction on this one, man, because this is too close, man. But it's going to be a good fight. And now, in the main event, is this the main event that should be happening? I think it should be happening because I know people are saying Islam finally got the belt off beating people on short notice, and then all of a sudden now he got to fight a featherweight. But I think this is because Alexander got bored at featherweight. It's not so much that Islam just chose him. It's like, man, Alex done circled the division, man. He tired. He kind of wants something else to help him wake up in the morning and have fuel for the fire. And so this is the next level, man. And for some reason, it seemed like Islam just kind of showing up and he don't really care. It's business as usual for him. I'm not saying I don't care as if he taking it lightly. I'm saying for him, it's like another win. And then for Volkanovski, it's like he got this fire lit up under him for some reason. You talked about this a few weeks ago in just a regular conversation. You said sometimes when people have been a champion a long time, they get bored. And I think this is the fight that Volkanovski needed for him to not be getting bored, man. Because I thought you
talking about this fight Islam needed, so he won't get bored. He ain't gonna be champion too long.
Nah. It's just the fact that Alex had to fight Max 3 times in a row. And then even when you beat him, it's kind of the same other people that you beat. They still hovering around the top. So now you might have to beat them for a second time until some of the, like the Arnold Allens and stuff get through. It's like, So this is a good fight. Alexander Volkanovski, 25-1. That one loss was a KO. That was so long ago. Ain't no point of even mentioning it. We get over here. We look at Islam Makhachev, 23-1, another one knockout loss so long ago, ain't no point of mentioning it. How do you see this fight playing out?
The real question is, can Volkanovski not get touched for at least the first 3 rounds? What you think, the first 3 rounds before Islam starts to slow down? He has to avoid any kind of clinch, takedowns, right hook, left hook. For what I say, at least the first round he has to avoid the knockout power of Islam. The second and the third round he has to avoid the clinch.
Knockout power? What you talking about?
And he still got some power in the left hand.
He got some deceptive power.
He got deceptive power. I'm not saying he's like Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
But it's enough to where you got to worry about, man.
Especially when the takedown's coming right behind it and you just get hit hard.
Yeah, but I think, honestly, like, he has to weather the first 3 rounds to get his confidence up. I think Islam is not going to respect Volkanovski's right hand. So, honestly, I'm not throwing the right hand until we get in the third round, the second, third round and stuff, bro.
But does the fight even make it that far? Everything you saying is just...
But I'm saying, but Volkanovski is the best at putting together a game plan, though. Even when Islam fought against Charles Oliveira went forward and kept on trying to. Why would you try to outmuscle Islam? He was trying to throw. You remember he got him in clinch. He was trying to throw him, man.
Terrible game plan.
And it's like, I don't think Volkanovski. If Volkanovski lose, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be because Islam just too big, too strong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, yeah, bro, he has a stick and move. And another thing is, I noticed when Islam fought against Bobby Green. Bobby Green was against the cage. Bobby Green was piecing him up on the feet, but he was against the cage. Went for a guillotine. I don't think Volkanovski is going to do that. Those mistakes,
I didn't see that fight. I haven't really watched that fight since it happened like that. Are you telling me Bobby Green went for a guillotine against Islam?
He had his hands around Islam's neck. I don't know what he was trying to do, but then one of the smart thing to do is like to create a base and like widen your hips out. Bobby Green didn't do that. He just went for like his neck. I don't know what he was trying to do, man. I don't think Volkanovski, the mistakes that Islam's opponents made, I don't think Volkanovski's going to make those mistakes.
Dude, the difference between decision making and fight awareness between those two are about as far as Earth is from Jupiter in this exact moment. So you're right. I think Alexander would make better decisions, but will Alexander get taken down? And after that, when does he get taken down? And does he get up?
I think he gets up fast, man.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so. And the reason why I say that is go to Islam's record and look at Chris Wade.
Come on, man. That was,
and the boy. It's like, dude,
that submission attempt that he.
Yeah, like, I forgot. Chris actually had him in a guillotine. But I'm saying, that's not my point. I'm saying these guys are, like, not even good at being in the UFC, and they went 3 rounds with Islam.
Dude, the difference between Islam in 2016 and 2023.
No, but his grappling get better, though? You know what I mean?
100% it got better.
I don't think so. I just think he's more aggressive now.
Islam in 2016 wasn't beating Charles Oliveira.
But he outstruck him. You remember he dropped Charles and submitted him.
But I'm saying, you said that his wrestling get better. And I'm like,
his grappling?
Yeah. Islam in 2016 would have got destroyed by Charles Oliveira, man. But in 2022, it's totally, I'm saying, man.
He can mix it up together, man. But I don't think his grappling got better, though.
And actually his ability to mix things up has gotten better as well. Man, this is a fight, man. Alex got to fight the perfect fight, man. I will say this. I know Max got one of the best chins in MMA because he never been dropped. But I think that Alexander Volkanovski got some knockout power that people ain't really respecting.
Yeah.
I don't think people really respect his knockout power because in that third fight against Max, he was hitting Max with some 1-2s that was crazy. I feel like a lot of people would have went down. They felt like they had some power behind them, but Max was just eating them.
But even if you look at Volkanovski's style, even if he ain't the hardest hitter, I think his style may be good enough to beat Islam. Because even the guys that got the one-hitter quitters, the Drew Dobers and guys, man, they can't beat Islam. You know, because they don't have the highest fight IQ. But somebody like Volkanovski, who has some knockout power, like he could put together a game plan. So even because the way he neutralized Max in the third fight, he kept on countering him with the jab and doing leg kicks and just neutralizing Max. I think that might be a better fighter. Like, if we were to create a fighter who can beat Islam, Volkanovski is a better fighter than like some of these other knockout artists, man, who Justin Gaethje.
Because they don't have the right decision making.
Justin Gaethje, them guys ain't gonna stand a chance, man.
They don't have the right decision making to go along with their skills versus Volkanovski.
But the thing is, and then another thing is, Volkanovski has a strong mind because you gotta say he was in bad positions against Brian Ortega. Even to go back and look at the Chad Mendez fight, man, he got hurt and he was able to come back and beat Chad. So it's like he has a strong mind. So even if he gets taken down, he might not get back up fast. But I think he can survive.
Dude, if Islam can't get a takedown and he's forced to stand over with Alex, does this fight look like Korean Zombie versus... And I know this sounds crazy.
The reason why it's not going to look like that is because Volkanovski not going to pull the trigger like that. He's going to just move around enough. Because you got to understand, one mistake, you can get taken down again.
Yeah.
So it's not like a striking match. It's not going to just be a striking match. It's going to be like Volkanovski doing enough to avoid the ground game, but still win on the feet as much as he can. Because even against the leg kicks, he got to throw the leg kicks at the right time because you don't even get taken down. And even the right hand, you don't want to just commit to that and get taken down. So I think on the feet, he could just do enough.
And the reason why we're talking about what Alex needs to do so much is because the fact of the matter is there ain't but two things that Islam needs to do. And that's just score a takedown and just don't get overly tired working from the takedowns. Because I know people think that Islam has a strength advantage, but didn't Alexander Volkanovski used to play?
No, man. He got the strength advantage. Ain't no point.
No, he used to play. He played rugby.
Yeah, but he has a strength advantage, man. He's just big and strong. He's the only person who went tit for tat with Khabib in training. It's like them two dudes, bro, they just built different. Can't compare no Volkanovski to Islam. No, man. He's strong, man, but I think he might be strong enough to escape certain positions and to like stand up, man. But like,
yeah, because he don't have to match his strength. He just needs to be able to get out of certain. Because we know he's well trained enough to get out of the positions from a technical standpoint, but having the strength and the cardio.
Against Islam, he's kind of like Khabib because they like to use a cage, which this is a whole nother discussion. I don't know. Woo. I don't think it's fair that they can use a cage to get takedowns, but it's a whole nother discussion. We can make a video about that.
Because you can bet your bottom dollar that Islam ain't going for no takedown in open space against no Alex, man. He gonna get him right against that cage, and then, try to get up under him.
But he gonna walk forward like he gonna stand up with him, and then he gonna just shoot. He fought against a couple fighters, man. So like he went with the underhooks, it didn't work, and then he dropped down to a double legs, and then it worked. So he know how to chain the different entrances.
Because I think Bobby was defending takedowns for a little minute, and then once Islam started switching things around, it was like he went into that bag and he had so many backup plans for the takedowns. I'm like, oh my goodness. So you picking Alexander?
I hate to say this, man, but Alex might have to knock him out too, man. I'm gonna say it because even dude in the 4th and 5th round, Islam, he might hit a second win. No, you might have to finish him, bro. Like Islam, he the champion. He won at least defend that belt once, bro. Like Volkanovski, he can't knock Islam out, bro, cold, but he might have to do to him what he did to Korean Zombie.
And just beat him down.
He's trying to say, even then, the thing is, if it go 5 rounds, man, who's to say they choose Islam? You know what I mean? All this weird stuff that's been going on lately. Because I can see Islam losing every round in some kind of way.
Because he could get pieced up on the feet and then turn around and get a takedown, and then they score it for that takedown, even though you don't really do nothing with it.
Or he can control Volkanovski, and it's kind of like, who won, a striker?
Who's judging this fight? That's the real question. The real question is who's refereeing this fight.
Yo, Cosby.
But if your left hand sees how much fun your right hand is having, it won't want to be left out.
Dude, nah, man, but
Doug Crosby, dude,
he might have to, honestly, man.
No, but I'm serious. Who's refereeing this fight and who's judging? Because these are important factors at this point in the game, man.
I know, man.
I hate to say it, but it's like that's the first fight. Is you got certain referees that'll break up a fight if there's not a lot of action, and you've been going for a takedown for a minute and you haven't gotten it. Okay, separate. Then you got other people, they'll let you do it for the whole round, and you can steal that round. Then you got certain judges that they score for certain things, and they don't. And then you get other judges that don't score for certain things. It's just very odd. But
the real question is, what's going to happen if some kind of way Volkanovski win when the featherweight division dissolve?
I ain't gonna let that happen. Man. That's why they got the interim belt, man.
Yeah, but that's my prediction, man. I think Volkanovski's going to win. It's going to be tough, man. There's going to be some dangerous moments, dangerous times in the fights. But he got so much heart. We ain't talking about the normal guy. Like Volkanovski and Usman, these guys are just like, they built differently, man. Another thing is, who's to say that Islam can't even finish Volkanovski? I hate to say it, man, but some people got so much heart, man. It's kind of like, you see them guillotines, they ain't tapping. It's like, man, who's to say Islam?
But you don't want to play with fire too much. Man, but I'm going to tell you something else, man. Who's not to say that Islam can't go out there and get dropped and choked out or anything?
Nah, Volkanovski don't do that. He might hurt him.
If you hurt somebody,
don't try to choke out Islam, man.
Don't try to knock him out either and waste energy. When you can just go, I'm saying, when I say choke out, I'm not talking about a guillotine.
But Islam end up on top of you, man.
I'm talking about from, like, if you go for a rear naked choke. I'm not talking about nothing crazy.
If we talking about Brian Ortega or somebody, man, yeah, it'd be different. That'd be interesting, too. But I'm saying, we talking about Volkanovski, man. Just the reason why you champion is not because you're the best fighter. It's because of your mind. It's because you have a real high fight IQ.
Because technically, Alex has beaten a lot of people who was low-key better than him. And some kind of way, he just found a way. You just convinced me, man. I might look like a fool at the end of this on Saturday. But I'm going with Alex too, man. And it's not an Islam hate thing or nothing like that. Man, at this point, I think Alexander got to fight the absolute perfect fight to beat Islam. Because I don't think there's much Islam has to do to win. You see what I'm saying? What's the game plan for Islam to win?
Get him up against a cage.
And get a takedown. And then it's game over. And at this point, I realize how dangerous Islam is,
and
man,
I think
as a fighter, man.
I think that's what's going to hurt Islam too, because what happens if you can't finish Volkanovski? Because even Khabib will figure out, okay, well, maybe I can't finish him. I can score points. I can win decision. But I think Islam, he's more of a finisher than Khabib. Okay, he can put together a game plan to get the finish, though, but Can he put together a game plan to win a 5-round decision? I can't see
for 25 minutes.
You know, he might not need to.
And look, Alex been in there for the 25 minutes, man.
Oh, multiple times.
Multiple times. I know Islam has too, but that was against he finished Thiago Moises. Hey, if Thiago Moises can pick you up and double leg you, then Volkanovski probably can do some things.
No, man, he gotta fight smart though.
I know. I'm saying if the opportunity, like you said, it's gonna be some deep water in the fight, man. Anything can happen.
One thing is that's the only thing Thiago can do.
That's all he did do, and he got submitted. But
the thing is, we didn't see even when Islam fought Drew Dober, it was times where I think he finished Drew in the 3rd round, right?
And if he didn't get the takedown, he was in trouble.
So it's like, man, we didn't see Islam in like 2nd, 3rd round.
I think Islam is a more dangerous version of Khabib because he actually goes for finishes, and he's low key starting to get some knockout power and hurt people, and he's just getting better overall. It might be a long shot, but I'm leaning towards Alex as well, man. But maybe Alex can survive a little longer than everybody else. I wouldn't be surprised at nothing.
It's gonna get real interesting this fight 3rd round though.
Yeah, and then the decision, man. I know they score for wrestlers and stuff like that, but they are fighting in Australia, so you never know.